Salute, what it is, what it do, what's happening, man. This is Nocturnal Thoughts with a real quick video that I'm gonna get out the way, man. My final thoughts and my prediction on the Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz, the technician. Boxing is the theater of the unexpected, so anything can happen. But by my expectations, I expect to see an action-packed fight and a good performance from both fighters. I think they both, gonna bring their best version, they A game, and try to put their talent on a full display. I watched the press conference. I watched the weigh-ins, the blood, sweat, and tears, and the interviews. And I'm gonna say this: the takeover Teofimo Lopez. One thing that he said that I can't agree with is that he's the clown of boxing, and this is like a circus act. And I agree with him saying that, because at least he found his identity, and he's making him more comfortable, confident, happy, mentally healthy. And I just think he finds his purpose in knowing that, he's there to entertain and put on a great performance. It takes the pressure off of him. He's there to have fun, get into his rhythm, and have a spectacular performance. Jermaine Ortiz, he's more like me, nonchalant, soft-spoken, straight to the point, you know what I'm saying? Not a whole lot of animation. But to me, leading up to the fight, even though I like the Triple C, calm, cool, and collected, I'm missing one more C from him, and that's conviction. I don't hear the conviction in his prediction of knocking out Teofimo Lopez. But I don't know him personally, so I could be wrong. He might be full of confident training. He's fighting at a higher weight class than last performance, so he might even be stronger than what I've seen him be in his other performances, like against Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko, the Matrix. Now, on the scales, they both was diced up, cut, and looked good. Some people were saying that they thought that, Jermaine Ortiz looked a little emaciated, looked a little weight drained. In the cheeks, maybe, but he got high cheekbones. His facial structure is kind of bony. And anyway, I don't think, unless he just really pudged up, I don't see him really having a lot of fat on his face. So he looked healthy to me. He looked big. Obviously, he was big at 135. So to see him at 140 and still have such a kind of a drastic cut, you know what I'm saying, it still wonders like how big. I mean, he's a big dude for that weight. But at the same time, when you look at him sized up next to Teofimo Lopez, you look at the shoulders of Teofimo Lopez, you look at where the power generates from, you look at, the way they muscle sets up and everything. Teofimo Lopez, until when they rehydrate, it's going to be completely different. Jermaine Ortiz muscle look like show muscle. Teofimo Lopez muscle looks like gold muscle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a difference between having muscles just for show versus muscles that perform. You know what I'm saying? So looking at athletically, Teofimo Lopez is just more athletically gifted, genetically built for certain movements. He's more explosive. His power zone up in his shoulders, it's just, he's not throwing just technical straight 1-2 punches. He has the ability to throw very compact, sharp, explosive, powerful punches. Jermaine Ortiz, man, I feel like his style sometimes he just jumps in and throws it a bunch of flurries with not a lot of punch power sometimes. Um, I think I don't like his tempo that he fights at because he's kind of methodical, he's technical, he sets things up well, but sometimes it just looks like to me he's just telegraphed. You know what I'm saying? His combinations to me look a little telegraphed, and they just look a little like flurries. They don't look like they have a whole lot of power behind some of his combinations that he throw. Teofimo Lopez, of course, you know he can struggle with somebody that's setting up traps and baiting him in and not, initiating so that he has to initiate. You've seen him struggle with like somebody that's, not just initiating the contact where he can just set you up with a counter punch. But I see that that's not necessarily the style that Jermaine Ortiz uses. He usually, is initiating, and his jab, I don't see his jab being like that strong, blunt, telephone pole type jab, George Foreman type jab that could really keep Teofimo Lopez from establishing his rhythm and finding his range. So when I look at their size up, when I look up their styles, when I look at their confident level, I expect there to be some fireworks because Jermaine Ortiz does have heart. I've seen him catch some shots and, lose his faculties a little bit where his chin is sometimes, I see his chin, he's sturdy, but I've seen him be hurt and wobble, you know what I'm saying? He recompose himself and collect himself. But at the same time, I've seen Teofimo Lopez explode and knock out a guy like a Richard Comey with one good shot. So him going up to 140 and being more confident coming off the Josh Taylor performance, he's still going to carry that momentum into this fight. Sometimes I feel like he might be overlooking Jermaine Ortiz because he's still talking about Terrence Bud Crawford, and he goes off into these rants. So I don't know if he's going to be 100% focused and dialed in, and that'll be the opportunity for Jermaine Ortiz to be able to, if he could possibly take advantage of any time, Teofimo Lopez got too caught up in just putting on the show, stunting, going into his tricks where he starts to punch behind the back and touches heels of his feet and, do all the extra stuff. If he starts to overestimate and starts to underestimate, and he starts to get too carried away, then I can see Jermaine Ortiz capitalizing off of those openings. But if Teofimo Lopez locks in, stays focused, and gets into his rhythm, I can see him exploding on Jermaine Ortiz and possibly stopping him early in the fight or even later in the fight, because Teofimo Lopez power pretty much can carry for the 12 rounds. So if he shows the heart, Jermaine Ortiz shows the heart, the grit, and his chin holds up, I feel like the fight will go the distance, and then it'll be one of those, 9-3 type of things, 10-2, if closer, maybe at the closest, it'll be 8, 8-4, but I doubt that. Really, my final prediction probably would be a TKO stoppage in the later rounds, just judging off Jermaine Ortiz's performance against Lomachenko. Lomachenko was coming off of a layoff and still was, having more energy than Jermaine Ortiz